Warning, the following episode of Boots on the Ground contains mature language. View at your own discretion. Anyway, this is part 2 of Boots on the Ground. Welcome back, episode 15. Now we are going to talk about news, I guess, and then PC later. But first piece of news, patch 1.4. Who wants to jump in and explain what happened with this patch? I'm looking at you,
Squatting's been
Leo,
fun.
Matchmaking, it tripped on its face on the gate, but then it quickly recovered.
Still isn't there, but yeah, they definitely did not. That it was highly touted. That there was going to be more even matches, things like that. None of that has changed. I know the one experience I have is, of course, after day one, which is you can make an entire show on that first day and then have a complete different outlook the next day. They did do a good job at fixing their major snafu on that first day. I mean, I'll give them that. But squads still drop all the time. I mean, you can't get 6 people into a squad and get into a match without someone dropping 2 out of every 3 matches, and that's beyond annoying.
And good for Nullarbor staying up that entire night, I think, that first day to try and get it slightly improved for the next.
Yeah, I mean, they did. It was a design choice at first, wasn't it, for the way that it was using the filter. Like, it wasn't a filter, it was a vote system. And then everybody hated it and he changed it. But he actually posted saying he did it on purpose. And oh my god, like, I don't get why anyone would design a vote system for that. Because all that means is the only way you can consistently get the match type you want is to go play in faction warfare. And that's if you like skirmish. So what that means is everybody is now in faction warfare where there isn't matchmaking. And domination was broken as well.
But yeah, that first day, you pick ambush, you end up in skirmish. You pick skirmish, you end up in ambush. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
I had a game once where I was 12 versus 0.
Oh yeah.
I actually got one of those after the fix. That didn't
Haven't
really...
got one since.
Actually, I got a 1v7 where I was the one, which... That was like last night or the night before. It was actually really fun because I was killing loads of guys.
Did you win?
No, it was domination, so I couldn't take the point. But I was like doing a proper Rambo and running around and picking people off. It was awesome.
If you had a bow and arrow, the picture would be complete.
Just a mass driver. But I'll get into why I'm using a mass driver still. A bit. But the domination thing, did you guys read Denny's tweet on day 1 with the broken domination thing? Where he was saying, no, because there was a problem with one of the maps where the null cannon was underneath the pipe that they joined together.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a never-ending death match.
Yeah, and there was a bug which was causing clones not to go down. Which I think was unrelated, but he was in a never-ending match.
I think he said something, you got up to about 45-minute domination match.
Yeah.
It's the last I remember hearing.
And then I remember I was talking to Logibro last night, and that got brought up, and he was like, yeah, I jumped into the match. And I was like, oh, yeah, it really is broken. Because he didn't believe it at first. But yeah, so there was a lot of bugs the first day. So matchmaking was broken, domination was broken. What else was... Squads were broken.
Yeah.
Was there something else? I think there was something else.
I threw up my hands after the 12 versus 0, and I didn't play the rest of the day. So.
Mouse and keyboard were broken, and we can get into aim assist after this, but ADS for mouse and keyboard now is twice as fast turn speed as just normal. So when I try to zoom in to aim at anybody, it speeds up ridiculously fast and I can't actually kill anyone. So the reason I'm using a mass driver now, I can't use weapons that rely at all on ADS. Because like I pull out a submachine gun or a scrambler pistol or like a scrambler rifle or something, I can't aim. which means I'm relying entirely on hipfire. So I have to use a mass driver, which is bad
Hmm.
because I'm missing out on all the ridiculously good hit detection. Is one of the good things about the patch, although it depends who you ask. But
Is that with like the control pad?
no, it's just with mouse and keyboard that's a problem.
Uh, I don't. I didn't see that problem myself when I was playing today. So.
I think it depends on what your mouse settings are because I like to turn fast, and I don't care if people think that's unfair or whatever. Like, and the only way I can do that, I tried. So before this patch, you could get around the turn speed cap by reducing the polling rate on your mouse to like 125, and it would just pretend that the polling rate didn't happen. Oh no, the turn cap just didn't exist. But you get mouse acceleration, so it's inaccurate or less accurate, which kind of balances things out. Now there's no turn cap, but I can't get it as fast as it was before because I think the way the polling rate thing works was I've got it at 125 now. It bases it on how far it's moved between every tick. So if it's ticking less, then you're moving further, which means it's turning faster. I think that's how it works. And you can't get it 8 times as fast when you're on 1k hertz, which is what a mouse normally uses. So even if I max out everything, I can't get it to turn as fast as I want. And then I use ADS and it just goes way too fast. And it's really annoying. And we're getting new ADS stuff next patch, so maybe I'll be able to have it at what I want. But I don't know. This sounds like PC Master Race whining, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
All hail the computer.
hell,
Complete
mouse and
with
keyboard.
numbers.
But
Yeah,
that's my
Heard
mouse
several
rant.
really not liking mouse and keyboard are not enjoying this new build at all. From most of what I hear, I mean, I'm a controller player, so I mean, I can't personally comment on good or bad or otherwise, but I've heard a very vocal crowd that mouse keyboard, like I said, aim assist only seems to affect controller players. Is what they keep.
They used to have aim assist for mouse and keyboard, and it was awful. And I and most mouse and keyboard players I know in general hate any kind of aim assist. Like, I don't want it at all. Like, I just want to have control over what I'm doing. Because it used to have issues like you'd aim at a spot, and then when the person moved into that little gap that you're aiming at in a wall or something, that would then push your mouse, it would push the gun's sights away from that gap. So it was actually working against you a lot. And things like I was trying to aim at a drop-up link once, and an enemy ran past it, but I really wanted to just kill the drop-up link, and it moved it away. So I didn't get to kill the drop-up link, and I didn't get to kill the player either, because I kept trying to fire at the bloody drop-up link. So, like, people are like, oh, mouse and keyboard, but we're really kind of gimped already, and people don't know. But whatever, that's my rant.
I don't play competitively very much, so it's like I do terribly, and it's just like, all right, well.
I saw a video today that I think it was actually what the French guys made a video showing. I mean, without everybody knows right away what aim assist actually does know and how it affects everything. They did this video where literally they had guys on the other side and they're just moving left and right, slow, fast, and it shows the auto tracking on it. They actually posted it in general discussion.
Was that another one, or was that the Russian guys? I saw the
No,
Russian guys' video.
I'm pretty sure this was what the French. Two-Ton actually gave me the clip on Skype when we were watching it, and it was I mean, it's so obvious what it is now. It's ridiculous.
Well, I tried to run the last couple of days militia fit 0 skills because I respect in the tanks force, which was the saddest day of my Dust career. But it's pretty strong. It's really strong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I personally, you know, I'm a heavy, and I'm a pincushion at all times playing now. I mean, if somebody sees me, I'm dead. End of story. And of course, everybody sees a heavy, so um, it's very unfortunate. I mean, I got guys with, you know, militia assault rifles using half a clip and taking me down when I'm in a 1400 HP fit. I mean, it's just
Yeah, well, I
beyond.
mean, it's the combination, right? I mean, we've talked about with the heavies and the bigger hitbox and the improved hit detection, and then this aim assist on top of that. Not to be a
But I
dick,
think
but it's
one thing
making a lot of guys feel a lot better than they probably are.
yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to pinpoint exactly what's really going on, but I mean, I just, you know, time to kill is cut. It's a fraction of what it was a week ago. You know, even if everything's hitting and stuff, I mean, you look at just how fast things, you know, my health decreases and, you know, I die it's crazy. It's insane. And when you have a lot of HP, you notice that right away. I mean, when, you know, you're a scout or something running around, you don't necessarily know it because, you
You
know,
die before you see the
five
damage
shots
coming in.
to connect and you're already toast. Well, I mean, for me, you know, it takes 20, 30 shots to connect, and I'm dying so fast, it really takes all the fun out of the game.
I mean, if you had this aim assist on sniper rifles, you'd be quick scoping left, right, and center.
That'd be nuts.
I'm tempted to just waste a few skill points and try a burst or a tactical or something and see what it's like with the scope, because it's got to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've barely noticed it, I have to admit, because you were saying matchmaking really didn't do anything. I don't know how it. Do you mostly play on America, as far as servers go?
I do.
On Europe, what would happen if you went into an ambush before was you'd meet the French or Grupo or Seraphim, or I think it was those three mostly, and there's a couple of others like maybe Unholy Legion, whatever. Those guys, I haven't really seen them much recently. And you'd meet those people. They would drop 4 tanks most of the time, or multiple like high level, what they called assault drop ships.
Yep.
And they would come up. Your entire team would then be complete new players, and you would get killed, and you wouldn't kill any of them. And that was how ambush was for 8 months on Europe.
Oh wow.
Now, it's balanced. Like, you get good players on both teams. There aren't as many new players around for me, but I'm a vet. Like, I've got 16 million SP. I've been playing since since before the servers went live on Tranquility. Like, I have a good KD and all that. I don't like hold my team back in Planetary Conquest most of the time. And so obviously I'm going to be playing with like people that are good. Like, I might not be as good as them, but I'm going to be playing with them because I'm in that same range. And I've noticed that the matches are really balanced. That stomps rarely happen unless I'm playing with Iden, in which case we stomp.
Yeah, I can't comment too much on it. I struggle to force myself to pub with the guys, just to play with the guys, not to pub. But I can't remember a super lopsided red line like you used to have, you know, like a red line within 2 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen it a lot in this last
Yeah.
week. I mean,
But who are you going in the match with, Cubs?
well, yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean,
Come on, let's be fair.
Actually, while we're on the show here right now, there was 2 squads of team players on the same side, and you know, just randomly queuing up, you know, and so I mean, it's an extreme rarity. I mean, last night we're playing, you know, we did a lot of ambush, you know, because of the SP event, so. There's you know, a group of ancient exiles, a group of us on the same side, and then a whole bunch of, you know, unknowns on the other side. I mean, I have not noticed a single difference with matchmaking, you know, since this new build. I can't say. I mean, yeah, some matches are a little more even, but that's just because, like I said, when we get into a match, half my squad gets dropped before we even start. So there's
Yeah.
3 of us. So yeah, it is a challenge.
Are
But
you running just ambush though, right? With the SB thing just finishing up?
that's what we were doing because I mean, that's what helped you because with this event, you only got
Yeah.
3,000
Yeah.
SP per match.
You pound
So
through it. Yeah.
so we ran ambush, since reset last Wednesday up until last night. Now I'm playing skirmish domination and stuff again, and I've been playing a lot of skirmish the last few weeks. So, but yeah, I mean, there I haven't seen any difference in balancing for matches at all. So.
That might just be the TP factor.
Could be. People don't exit matches though. I always watch that, and it's just just this match right here. Is us and a full squad of Subdreaded was on one side, and 3 known core players, individuals on the other side.
So your side was a little gimped, is what you're saying.
Well, you look at it from an SP standpoint, not even necessarily saying who's good, who's bad, but you've got 2 full squads on one side and the
On
other
one
side,
and all split up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, at the very least, that's what you should. I
mean,
would be expecting from some balancing.
It should be the first thing that any kind of matchmaking system is looking at is full squads. If there's 2 full squads entering a match, they should not be on the same side.
I mean,
Exactly.
it could be those
Checkbox number
unknowns
1.
are squadded together, though.
Yeah.
Could be, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is literally only looking at squad, individual, and that's how they're separating it. Which there isn't much help in that either.
I mean, it should be a pretty simple little algorithm or whatever the hell else in programming it, where you separate between a squad and a squad of the same court members.
I agree.
And prioritize, if 2 squads, same court members are going in, no questions asked, opposite sides.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think that the biggest issue with any kind of matchmaking right now is that there's no way to queue as a team.
I
That's
haven't played
the
any.
biggest thing, really.
Yeah, I haven't played any faction warfare. They didn't improve that at all, did they? Regarding who can get up on side.
Actually,
You can tick your box.
you can
So you
take
put
which
what
side you're
faction-
going to be on, so you can increase the chance. You can give yourself a pretty good chance of getting on the same team as another group from your corp.
Except for Giant, because we fail sync every single time.
Because I know, last patch, like I said, I haven't done any faction warfare in 1.4, but last patch, the only difficulty was just getting in before the side filled up. So if you could both pick the same room, pick that side, and if there was room, you'd always get on that side in that room.
Or it pops up right away at 30 out of 32 already in it.
Right. So, but I mean, there was still that possibility, and I haven't heard that it's improved any on this. From what it sounds like, it's actually even worse. It's even more difficult to get.
The better thing about it now is that you always get into a match really fast.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just roll of the dice to see even if there were matches up.
I mean, what they have to give us for faction warfare, and it was supposed to be one of the before we even had the matchmaking, it was talked about as one of the incentives to not have, your upper tier, higher SP proto players that have been in for so long or involved in Planetary Conquest, for their pubbing that they could go looking at faction warfare. If you could sync 2 squads, it doesn't even have to be a full side. Let us sync 2 frickin' squads into the same match. Let us actually turn faction warfare into something instead of the nothing that it's always been. And that draws some of those guys out of standard pub matches to give everybody else a little bit better a shot and getting smashed by team players. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me because faction warfare is absolutely nothing,
It's basically pub matches with maybe coordinated teams. Maybe
you can
Maybe
role
get
play it on the
special
forums if you
orbital.
want.
I mean, there's some stuff that I figured out which I shouldn't talk about because that's hopefully getting fixed at some point. Yeah. Oh, if we get new orbital mechanics, it'll be interesting. But from what I understand, the next expansion that's coming in winter is going to be a faction warfare expansion for us. That's what I've been hearing. That faction warfare is getting revamped before Planetary Conquest because people actually like faction warfare, even in its current state. Because it actually
I don't
does
know what to
something
say to
Eve
those
players.
people. I don't know what to say to those people.
But hey, I mean,
I just like
I've
to see.
noticed we're going back to matchmaking. I just want to say, oh, do you want to say your thing first?
I just like to see less barriers put in our way of having your dust side and your eve side be able to do something together, you know,
Yep.
and impact the game in a way that's more than just, oh, I showed up and dropped an OB on a map, because we talked about that already. You know, that's the place for them to do it, as far as I'm concerned.
I guess the next step would be dust players shooting back. That's when.
Oh, I'm fine with that waiting for a long time. I think that's way ahead of where they're at.
That's true. I wouldn't want them to take it on along with everything else they need to get
No.
worked out.
I don't want them to delay because they want to get that in before they do more with it. I want them, like, if that's a lot of work, then just put it to the side for now.
No.
Because we don't care really about being able to fire back right now.
No.
As far as everybody I've talked to on the subject, except for like Nova, who doesn't even do any of this.
He won't even come ring. Nova, get him PC.
I'd be fine with him ringing against us.
I'd be better with him ringing against us. Just look for the pink suits.
Oh, so I'm trying to think what else came in 1.4, but matchmaking is actually, well, for me it's doing something, because I'm getting better matches, and I'm not seeing as many. And actually one of the things I'm loving is that I'm seeing loads of people who were proto-stomping before, suddenly either quit the game because they can't stomp people. Like, literally, we had a blueberry come into one of our squads, and then complained that he couldn't proto-stomp anymore, because everybody he was fighting was good. And then he said, I'm quitting Dust, and left the match. He didn't even, like, finish the match, he just left. Great.
Matchmaking made him rage quit. I like it. Matchmaking's OP. Hey, we got timestamps, which is just one of those simple, you know, quality of life things that, I mean, we got on our guys day one, stamp your frickin' time when you're LFS or RFing. So I mean, it's just been standard practice for us, but to not have to type that crap in every single time is nice. Corp taxes, finally.
Yeah.
Even if,
I heard Cubs charges 25%.
Yeah.
I was talking to Cubs before the show, and he was saying that people were applying to team players because they don't have a tax rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely experienced that, where that's actually something I've seen in people's applications, because they're just not happy of getting taxed. Yeah.
When are people ever happy they're getting taxed?
Yeah, but you know, and that's
like,
something they did do.
It's
wrong
like
with
some
it.
of the other big cores, we're talking, I mean, they're 10, 15, 17% tax rates, which, you know, if you are one of the people who play a lot, that adds up pretty quick. So, I mean, you know, we're in a financial situation that, I mean, I have a 0% tax rate. I mean, it's funny because I'll throw on the forums. I had somebody going the other day. I'm like, yeah, we're at 25%. Like, really? How you do that? I'm like, yeah, just messing around with people. But, you know, it all depends. Like I said, I think the tax rate would have been an awesome thing to have in the game at the beginning of PC when it was it would have been huge. We were so looking forward to it then, and you know, now not a big deal for our guys. I think it's a great addition to the game because it's going to help all these cores that are, you know, struggling to get. Because I mean, if you ever want to do PC, you got to have the finances. Plain and simple. You know, that is. I mean, people have a good argument when they talk about they talk about pub stomping, proto stomping, whatever. It's not even so much that. It's the fact that certain people can afford that stuff. It's not that they don't have it. It's the fact that, you know, I can personally afford to run proto 24/7. It's not going to affect me whatsoever. But I'm not everybody, and I understand.
What they
oh, sorry.
What they did do wrong with taxes is there's no tax in NPC corps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fairly big part of why tax in Eve works the way it does, is that you're encouraged to go and join mission running corps and other player corps because you get less tax. Like a lot of them just charge like a 2% tax or something as opposed to the 10 of the NPC corps.
Well, we started out at 10, see how it goes, and I've only had one complaint so far. Nobody else has brought it up.
I mean, you
Other,
guys were
other,
talking
other,
about
other when they get a big PC payout, but
I mean,
we also don't have nearly as much landholding as a lot of Beyond. We've never gone above 4 districts because based on our activity, I couldn't get above 4 districts.
Yeah, exactly. And every core is different. That's why I think that's one of the big positives of this new patch is having that in there. Like I said, you're always going to have some. You can't please everybody. And the thing is, now it's once again, something else in the player's control. If you don't like it, okay, well, that corporation has that tax rate. You like it or not, whatever. It's still, it's another way to fund your corporation. To have aspirations. Because I mean, if you just have a corporation that you just want people together and just play, okay, that's one thing, big deal. But the thing is, you've got people that have aspirations of being in PC. And that
let's people build up that war chest to step into PC without having to feel like you're a beggar and asking your players for donations. I mean, donations was one thing back when there was no record of it. And we did the paper pen thing, and guys were filing their paperwork with my accountant, and he was keeping track of everything. But then once you have wallet transactions, and if you're asking for donations, you get stuff that kind of creeps in. You can look and see, well, this guy's never donated once ever anything, not even 100,000 ISK. It just gives them an option to, when you're not holding land. And if you're not holding a good amount of land, you're not generating that much off it anyways, to build something up so they can take a step in and dip their toes in PC water.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a great thing, and I think obviously we're not seeing too much of that right now, but it's going to help even the playing field, from a financial standpoint, over time. So it's a good tool for. There's just no negative about that.
And it's two such simple things. And like Cub says, we should have had them. Should have had it long ago. I mean, something like timestamps as taxes is just something we should have had a hell of a long time ago. When Corp started.
Quite a help.
I was just gonna say we didn't have court mail until Uprising though.
But
I remember Danny talking to me about that, and he was saying that he was talking to one of the Eve guys, because he got the tour around the CCP offices at FanFest. And he was talking to one of the Eve devs about it, and the Eve dev couldn't believe the lengths he was going through to keep his corp up to date. Because he just had mailing lists after mailing lists. Oh.
Loading
He
500
deserves
people.
a medal for what he had to, the hoops he had to run through to do stuff before they gave him a few tools. Now we just need to delete all. I can't be bothered to go through 300 plus individual freaking mails.
And what is it? Taxes now delete old.
Yeah, quick. Made a thread just the other day, and I didn't post on it because I don't post much, but it was really good, and just a simple wallet division is what we really need, because it just clears everything.
You mean those tabs that are actually in the game but have zero functionality?
Yeah. That they only work in Eve? Yeah.
Because
And there's the watch list.
I was just gonna say, taxes get rid of all the other transactions, so you could have a guy steal from your corp, and it would get deleted by tax notifications. So you
could have a smart guy, director that hops on just after coming out of downtime, and you average out what your corp pretty much makes in, say, an 8 hour, the guys that play during the day, skim all that out, all goes back in during the daytime.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. Don't get any ideas.
I'm not a director.
Don't be talking to any directors with any ideas.
I feel like someone's watched this and is like,
I expect a forum thread.
Yeah, I hope we get one. I
Whoever
hope
does
somebody does this.
Yeah, if someone
I'd be
does it.
disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah,
I was actually gonna
I saw those eyes.
I was gonna say, Cubs has already become the old CFC or the OTEC, I guess, of Dust, and that he's funding his entire corp with passive income, and he doesn't have to charge taxes, and he can do a reimbursement program. I just find that hilarious.
He's got the land goo.
The land goo. That's exactly what it is as well. It's actually goo.
I'm a real estate agent. I got my license a couple months ago. So I buy and sell, at will. It's a good time. It's funny because a lot of people think that it's all a big scam and stuff, which of course it's not. But we make enough money, just from we started out literally, with 2 districts, and our goal was to have about 5 districts, over time. And then, we got, getting aggressive, whatnot, and just kept on going. Like, well, we made a collective decision. We're like, well, why don't we just keep attacking, making more money? I mean, if somebody's going to make the money, why not it be us?
Yeah.
Really that simple. And, until someone stops us, why not do it? And that's what we did. And, of course, then it took, pretty much all of Dust to go against Eon for us to stop taking. I mean, we were up to 75 districts. We had 33% of the board. Just
People
Eon is an alliance. I believe we're at almost 60%.
I'm gonna cut you off there because we're gonna talk about PC in the next bit, but
Gotcha.
we'll finish up the patch stuff. More patch
else we
1.4
have?
stuff. Shotguns were broken. That was the other thing that was broken.
Yeah, they did fix that pretty quick, I heard. Although
that's
my
fixed
shotgunners still say they're trash. I think that's just people complaining.
I guess the only other big change that I can really think of for one point. Well, I mean, there was the bonus SP, which is just nice. I don't think anybody's complaining about bonus SP.
SP is always nice.
I mean, I actually forgot to log in one day, and I was a bit annoyed. But then I was like, only a couple of thousand SP. I can just play some matches.
I gotta applaud CCP for adding like that sort of press button, recede, bacon sort of thing.
Well, it's something else that's good for the new player, I mean, the guys that have been around, it's like, oh, God, I forgot to log in. It's not like you can buy anything with that amount of SP anyways at this point.
6,000
But,
at most.
I mean, was it didn't somebody say that if you log in every day over a month, doesn't it add up to 2 extra days of passive, I think, is what I heard?
Well, you
It's
figure
more
it's
than
what, after 6
Is it more than
days, you're at the max. 6
Is it two extra a week?
Yeah, I think it's, well, you're getting an extra 40-something a week. Once you're max, because you figure 6K a day, so it's 40.
You maintain that, yeah.
So
It's about a week, I think, of free SP for
that's
passive.
42K a week, which is that's an extra. That's almost 2 days of passive a week that you would get. So I mean, it adds up, and for the person that doesn't have an insane amount of SP, I mean that does add up. Plus, I like it because it's incentive to get on every day. Even I mean, like a lot of people are just going to log on, log right back off, grab that free SP because it will add up over time. I mean, it pretty much, it's from a business standpoint. I don't know if CCP thought it through because you think about it, that can kind of replace your passive booster almost, just in doing that. But the people who are trying to, build their character, it's a great incentive. And it's just any incentive to get the person to stay on this game is what this game needs right now. So, I think it's a good thing.
Well, if you're going to log on for your SP bonus, you're more likely to play a few matches at least than just, I don't even feel like logging on.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're going to make the effort to turn the PlayStation on and hop on, you're probably going to do it for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's the logic behind their skill system in EVE, is that they don't want to give you too long to have that queue be like 3 days or something. They want it to be you have a max 24 hours of skills you can queue, and then like you're forced to log on to change skills. And that's the idea behind that, is that that's what keeps people logging onto EVE. which isn't really great because you're kind of relying on feeding people like little crumbs instead of actually having a fun game. Although Eve is fun, but like it's that encouragement to get on and do things.
Right.
It's only evil by the context.
I actually kind of wish Eve used this system instead of, like, I wish we had a longer skill queue on Eve and we just got bonus SP for logging
Daily
on every
bonus.
day.
Yeah, isn't Eve literally like 100% passive?
It's
Yeah, Eve is
100%.
100%
Yeah.
passive.
It's all
Unless
just
they
time
screw
based.
up. Unless they screw up and give us free SP.
Although, if you don't queue a skill, then you're losing SP effectively. Well, you're not gaining SP.
Yeah, it's not passive the same as Dust is where we get our passive all the time. It's you have a length of time to train this level of this skill or whatever, and you fill up your 24-hour or you bump it over with a longer one at the end. So it's passive in that sense. But yeah, if your training queue stops, then you're not gaining anything if you don't log in and fill it back up. That's the difference.
Yeah, I wish they used the bonus SP system. I just like it. Seems like a much healthier way of doing it. Like rewarding people rather than punishing.
They seem to like their punishment.
Oh, Iceland's a fairly punishing country. The weather at least.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about Icelandic weather. Let's get on to the... I mean, I can't really think of anything else aside from...
1-4?
For 1-4.
Nah.
It's just the team site mechanic that's changed that I want to go on and talk about a bit. How are you guys finding this? Because I love it. I really like the new system. But I'm wondering how you guys feel about it.
It's so useful. It makes scanners like actually useful.
They were good before, but now
Yeah.
you have to bring one for a squad now. And I'm wondering, Cookie, your thoughts on the team site now?
I don't know. Yeah, scanners are I mean, I guess it should be one per squad.
Literally everything.
You know.
Look at that.
I mean, what is it we don't see anymore?
People with... Actually, that's the thing I was going to bring up. It actually makes profile signatures...
Profile
Useful.
dampening is what everybody should have now. I
People
love it.
shouldn't speed tank, they should profile tank instead.
What I do. I do both. Well, I do both. Depends on the situation. But I've had profile dampening maxed out for quite a while because before, with the heavy suit, a single complex dampener would take care of it. Now, with everybody already in their proto scanners and stuff, you need to have 2 complex dampeners to stay off the radar, and it's awesome.
Oh, I didn't
Just-
actually realize heavies were using them.
Like Beverly Hills Ninja over here, Chris Farley is smashing it. Because you think about it, it's really the only way that I can survive. Because, I mean, literally someone breathes on me and I'm dead, so...
But yeah, I think that's going to be the thing. People are going to shift towards trying to stay off of scanners. And people haven't adapted to that yet.
Yeah.
And you can't speed tank anymore. You can't just run through a group of people and rely on bad hit detection to keep you alive.
Yeah.
You actually have to be sneaky.
The hand scanners seem a hell of a lot more viable than the vehicle scanners as far as
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen.
noticed that as well. I mean, they are help, but they're
I
not.
run the vehicle one, and you pick up here and there, but the hand scanner just lights them up like nothing. And the scanner on the dropship is just fucking terrible.
Yeah. That is.
I was saying the other day, I think they should have 2 different types of vehicle scanners. I think they should have a ground vehicle scanner and an aerial scanner, and give the aerial not like flight ceiling kind of range, but something more than what it is right now, because it's just pointless. when you buzz the ground with your dropship scanner. At that point, you're seeing them anyways.
I'm surprised you actually even run scanners on your tank. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
understand why.
pretty sure Movado does as well.
Yeah,
I
I know.
swapped over
Tankers
from
actually
the
done that.
nitrous to the scanner for a while now.
It makes sense if you need to find those like pesky swarm launchers that hide and that sort of thing.
It's for when you're moving inside, really. You know, it's not of a lot of use outside, to be honest. But when you're inside one of the cities, one of the installations.
Well, plus the thing with vehicles, it actually works as team based
Yeah.
vehicles, that's
Yeah.
the upside of it. So if you find a way for them to be effective, it's a good thing and stuff. We're definitely making that switch as well. I mean, we got to, like you said, with the drop ships, the scanner, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
Not really worth it yet, but we're still playing with it. Like I said, the biggest change in 1.4, besides armor and aim assist, all that stuff, is the fact you can't hot drop out of a dropship anymore. That's just the one thing that blows my mind. You can't. I don't know if they haven't said that's actually a bug.
Do we want to talk about it, Gimbal, or do we want to keep that?
The pocket strat is secret.
I figured it out.
Oh, you figured out how dropships work?
We've been hot dropping the last couple nights.
Okay, I wasn't paying any attention to that really.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just saw people dying a lot.
Still,
Cubs, you're in there right now. Eh? Grab a dropship, grab one of you guys, and go full speed.
Mm-hmm.
And before you call out, tap L2. Hold L2 for a second as you call out.
That's it.
Next PC. That's it.
I will remember that because that's what actually I'm trying to do now. Except my pilot is getting booted.
Yeah, we did a couple self attacks the last couple days, do some map run through stuff, and just do some slosh up stuff. And I was hell bent on figuring it out. And Reaver and I were up in there, and we just killed him until we could fix it. So that's what it is. You can't be accelerating. You have to be decelerating. Doesn't mean you have to really slow down, but literally, like on the 5-point bridge map is where we were practicing it. We were trying to line straight up through the delta. Coming
I'll not
from,
say where it is. People are going to figure out the pocket strat.
Well, all you need to do is decelerate before you yell to get them out. There you go. Tip for everybody for PC. But yeah, it's dumb. You should be able to just jump out of the damn thing without dying. It's ridiculous. I mean, it happened with the LAV too. Guy hopped out when we were driving and dead.
Oh yeah. Oh, it happened when I was in one of your tanks once as well. I think I got out and then you ran me over straight away.
We didn't get to. I did want to test it with the LAB to see if the same thing works with that, but we didn't get to that.
I'm sorry, this is unrelated, but I just remember you killing me with your tank by accident last night. He just tapped me with his tank when I was in an LAV and I just blew up.
It wasn't. You couldn't even call it a fender bender, and it was just. What was that LAV? Was it a Balak or was it a diesel
militia Balak, I think. Yeah.
Still, that was How easily that popped! I think I could line up against you and then just push it 2 feet, and you probably would have blown up. Here's a vehicle thing. How come you can toss 2 afterburners on a dropship, but you can't have 2 nitrous on a tank or a truck? I don't know if that's intended.
I don't know either.
It cannot be the same afterburners. It's got to be the militia and the basic, but with the 2 different ones, it does work. Which is how guys are able to hit all the way up above, or into the max flight ceiling.
No idea.
Drop 2 nitrous on. It's invalid fitting. Can only fit 1.
I've literally never flown a dropship, so I wouldn't know.
Not missing much.
I wish I never had. Horrible. Absolutely horrible pilot. I've got an assault dropship, and it kills me by dropping on my head. I'm just bad at it.
Actually, yeah, I do remember you getting killed.
A kamikaze dropship quite often, but even then, like especially now with this new build, I mean, I die anyway. So.
And now I'm just reminded of Cookie You didn't even call in the tank, you thought, but it was your tank and you did call it in. You went into menus to fix
Yeah.
like fittings and stuff, and you must have called in a tank by accident. I just remember you like the tank just dropping on your head.
Splat. Yeah. I think in one of those the other night I killed myself jumping out of the MCC, and as I was jumping out of the MCC, I decided to light a smoke, and I didn't get quit back to the X button quite quick enough.
I'm noticing people are actually dying a lot at the beginning of PC matches.
Yeah.
Like that kill feed, just the beginning of the match, goes up pretty fast. So look at the
Speaking of kill feeds, one thing I'm hating is just this roadkill. This is stupid.
I like it.
I like it when it's actually
None of
roadkill.
when it's actually roadkill, exactly.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
novelty of it did wear off after anything involving a vehicle. I like it to an extent, but in its current state, it's overkill to the 10th degree.
It's not actually supposed to just be roadkill for everything.
No.
That's actually a bug, but oh well. This is not the biggest deal. Oh, something Charlie told me. This is just interesting, like tidbits that I've been picking up from him. Plasma cannons don't have a max range. So if you angle them right at the beginning of matches, you can hit the enemy spawn point with them.
Uh-huh.
So if you know what you're doing, he's actually killed people like at the beginning of matches. After they drop out of the MCC, he fires a shot off, and then it like hits someone on the other side of the map. I'm wondering if that's going to be a tactic, because if you fire like 16 plasma cannon shots, you might hit someone.
You got to split them 8 and 8 and try and cover both spawns.
Dumb tactics on boots on the ground.
So one guy run and cap the whole map.
But going back to scanning, because like we're going on almost an hour now. Good change, just in general.
Yep.
Are people liking it?
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think most people were not prepared for it, which is why we're dealing with it right now. I mean, I've known about it. Like I said, they've been hinting that it was going to become squad-based for a while now, and I know most of my guys have been prepping for it. We've been preaching, get your dampening up, get your precision up, things like that, because it's going to become, your radar is going to be squad-based. It's not going to be team-based. We knew it was coming. It's caught a lot of people off guard because apparently some didn't. But the scanners spam as it is now, I think they're too strong. The scanners, you don't get any war points from it, but everybody's constantly scanning, and it only takes one person to light up the entire group. So it's cool. I think it like I said, it makes this more of a individual type skill game versus how it's been. But at the same time, I think right now, throwing it in the way they did, I think it's just a little too much for a lot of people. I mean, I'm not complaining either way. Like I said, the game's constantly changing. I don't have a problem with it myself, but I can definitely see the argument.
I mean, the one thing I would say about the new scanners, as far as things I don't like about them, is it tells you when it doesn't scan someone, which is really kind of annoying to that person, because if you scan one cone, like if you scan and you know that you're only picking up what's in that building, and it says signature error or whatever, or like
really?
margin error, I think is what the message is. That means it scans someone,
But
But
they can't light them up.
it won't light
So
them
when
up.
I see scan attempt prevented, you're still getting some kind of indication that you didn't scan me, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't have a scan. I mean, I'm a fat boy. I can't equip one ever. So so that kind of pretty much negates even having.
I mean, it means they don't know exactly where you are, but it means
They
they
know
know
they're there.
that you're below their like you have a certain level of dampening that they can
Right.
pick you up. So
Which-
I will use a scanner if I get margin error. I'm like, oh, there's a scout around.
Yeah.
So like I'm then prepared for that, and that's kind of bad, I feel.
If you're below scan, you should be completely off.
Or maybe something
radar. You
like
shouldn't
if
get a
they're-
hint that someone's up ahead.
if it's just below scan, maybe, and then like if it's way below, like if their signature radius or scan resolution, or I can't term is so low that, like, let's say it's below a certain point, then it won't pick it up at all. But if it's just out of range, then you get that error thing. I don't know. The way it is right now, you still get information, like, when you probably shouldn't be getting information.
Right. Yeah, nothing should be. I mean, if it comes up on my screen, scan attempt prevented, you should have no indication that I'm there. Even if I'm in the pile, I mean, I can understand, everyone around me, blowing up like a Christmas tree, and that's, my own fault. But that's good to know. It's a little agitating. A million SP and wasting 2 slots on a fit just to stay off the radar, and you still know I'm in the area. That's good.
Although if you use it on a group and you get that message, then you're still losing a lot of information. But still, like, it's kind of annoying, and I don't feel it's as well designed as it could be.
Mm-hmm. That's work in progress. I mean, like I said, I do like the scanners. I like the fact that there's now a use for it. Before the scanners, I mean, people didn't really mess with them because, if you had literally someone with precision, which is what I was doing, if you had precision maxed out, along with range and stuff, it was the same effect as scanner, because what I saw, everybody else would see. Whereas now precision is pointless now, because I see people, they don't even show up on the radar unless they're in my range. So I think it's just something that needs to be tweaked, and it'll be really cool.
Okay. I guess we can just move on to 1.5 then. Although, actually, no. One last thing for 1.4: new maps. Thoughts on new maps? And I'll do my little spiel at the end.
I like it. It's something different, which is what this game's been largely missing over time, is new content. And new content, you think about new content with a game, you got, for this, you got suits, skills, and maps. And right now, like I said, we got suits a while ago, still incomplete, but we've been playing the same maps for 8 months now. And I didn't play back in Codex and some of those early builds. I heard there's one build where there's literally one map for the entire build, things like that. Now there is a selection, a single new map like it is. Like I said, they've added different sockets, so some of the current maps are now different, in different areas, like the bridge map. Different sockets on each side is a refreshing change. It changes up tactics. It's just adds a new flavor to the game. We could argue a little too late because you're losing a lot of people, but I haven't seen numbers if we're actually maintaining some base or getting some new players in. But that's the kind of thing that they need to keep doing. It's just even one map like it is, like I said, you've got 10 different renditions of that map right now in the game, mixed in with the old ones, as well as mixing parts of the old ones with some of the new stuff. It's refreshing. I mean, it makes playing the game more fun right now.
I don't think I've seen them all. I've liked what I've seen, and it's a different feel to the new maps versus the old maps. There's that one that's just really linear. It's not like anything else. Right. And how open the SI map is. I got the flight tour that first day, and it was pretty. Excuse me.
You have to play them very differently as well, I've noticed.
Well, that's just the new build, the new mechanics. In and of itself, you got to play even the same old maps. You can't play the way you could play a week and a half ago. Yeah, it's just because you get melted so easily now, and it's changed once again. They've completely changed gameplay, which I'm not a fan of. But in the same regard, like I said, these new maps obviously bring different tactics. What you see, especially if you play ambush, you see different parts of that new map is a certain match. You play skirmish, you get the whole map. And it's different. It's fun. It is a positive change.
But I was gonna say, we were playing skirmish on one of the new maps, and you had to have vehicles at all times. Really, yeah. That's one of the big things.
It's so spread out. I mean, I just played one here a few minutes ago, and you got to get a vehicle to get anywhere. I mean,
which is cool when you have a dedicated Logi dropship taking everybody around the whole match. We found that was actually like I actually really enjoyed playing it like that. But you need vehicles to keep you going around, and I don't have vehicle skills because I didn't need them before.
And they just need points to actually, get rewarded for making a dropship a dropship. But that's
Well,
coming.
we're gonna talk about that now because
Yep.
1.5. So we're going to 1.5 changes, which so far we've had war point changes are coming in. So you're gonna get war points if you're a Logi drop suit and someone spawns on you, or any vehicle and someone spawns on you. You're gonna get that like equivalent to drop up link. Scanners are gonna get war points. I think that's if they scan someone and that person dies, they get some small assist. Killing equipment gives war points now, or will give war points. What else? There was a couple of others.
De-hacking?
De-hacking things, counter-hacking things will give you
Oh,
war points.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah. Nothing's more fun than playing a skirmish. Oh, well, I'm just going to sit here and let it flip and then hack it again. And it's counterproductive to everything that has to do with the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, war points should be about rewarding you for playing well. Oh, speaking of which, headshots are going to give you war points.
Yeah.
Not just a cool sound
Nice.
anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
you're going to
God.
get bonus
Get
war
rid of
points for
Get
it.
rid of that sound.
I love the
I like
sound.
that
I
sound
think
better
it
than
Oh,
makes it
God.
the glass breaking sound of your shields. I mean, yeah, I'm just surrounded in a bubble of glass, and every shot, it sounds like someone's throwing the rock from my window.
The
I should-
headshot sound scared the hell out of me the first time.
It's so loud. You can be playing with somebody where you can just hear his TV barely coming through his mic, and then headshot, and it makes you jump on the other end. First time I heard that in a vehicle, I was like, "What the f is that?" It's just unnatural.
Yeah, all those war point changes are coming in.
I hope I hope they carry it a little farther in dropships. I said a long time ago. I'd prefer to see dropships almost have like a cooldown timer. Not just somebody spawning your dropship, but if you got a full dropship, you fly a bunch of guys in on a point, you drop them out, and be it 15 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is, if you're the pilot that flies those guys in under fire, gets them out, gets the point cleared, and gets the point hacked, the pilot should be rewarded for properly doing his job. I mean, that was the original intention of dropships, and they've, to this day, never been able to fully do their role.
So you're talking about 20 seconds after they leave the dropship, if they do something, you get some more points for it.
Yeah.
Something to give
Like,
pilot.
think of it like the squad leader bonus. You've got your range. If your objective is on one of your squad mates, and you got that range around the squad mate, so somebody else in the squad kills someone, and you get that 60 points instead of this. I mean, that's what I would envision as some kind of either radius, maybe not a radius on a drop point, because you could drop guys a couple of various, but basically a timer on a guy that drops out of your dropship and then accomplishes something in the match to contribute to your team leading towards victory. The pilot was responsible for getting that guy there, getting him in position. It doesn't have to be long, not 10 seconds even. But if they hop out and they get on a hack point, you should be rewarded for that. It's doing your job.
Yeah, because at the moment, dropship pilots can be probably a key point to winning a match and get nothing for it.
Yeah, you get nothing. I mean, carry that across all vehicles. Make it fair. If you prefer to do it with a LAV, go bombing across the map. Have two guys in your squad hop out, kill a couple guys, hack the point, move on to the next. You should be rewarded for being the getaway driver instead of nothing. Something is better than nothing, anyways.
Yeah, that sounds good. Makes sense. Post that on the forums.
Post.
Can't even forum warrior. That's what you are. Okay. I mean, the one thing that I would take away from the warpoint changes is I think this is an indication that they're gonna change orbitals, because I know that they were holding off changing them, or changing the warpoint system until they fixed orbitals, because they're tied together. And if you get warpoints from a lot more things, you're gonna get a lot more orbitals.
That's
So-
probably a good
Yeah,
reason
I mean,
in there.
yeah, they're definitely going to need to, adjust that. If they're adding in a bunch of potential war points, for things that are already done all the time, definitely going to need to probably increase the, war points for an orbital.
And maybe even add more Warpoint things. Like I'd love to see Battlefield 2. I don't know what about the new Battlefield games. I haven't played. Battlefield 2. One of your things was you got like to scan the map. That was one of the squad commander things. Was the unmanned aerial vehicle UAV, which would go
Right.
over the map and it would scan and it would show your enemies. I think that with the new system in place, I think that would be quite a cool. Maybe like 1,000 war points or something.
You could do that if scanners weren't crap in dropships.
But just
Some
as
kind of
other
some
things.
kind of spot mechanic, on individuals, functions much like the scanner, just within your iron sight, ADS range, whatever your weapon range is.
You know you can use the attack command to do that, right? This is like a cool little thing. I put that on a tank the other day, and it went around behind cover, and the attack order followed, showed me exactly where it was.
Yeah. Sometimes drop rallies when you've got red line tanks and guys aren't sure exactly where they are.
But yeah, I mean the only other 1.5 thing I can think of that we've had confirmed is there's new weapons coming in.
Was there anything other than that one post? Did I miss anything, or was just a
Just the one post, I
1.5
think.
and that was it? Yeah.
Wolfman's been dropping lots of
details.
hints.
And that was related to a pistol question, was it not?
Maybe?
I think so.
Although, actually, there was a thing on the Singularity where they had a bunch of new items appear on the Eve market.
No, I didn't see that.
It was combat rifle, rail rifle, ion pistol, I think, were the three. So we could be getting those three in 1.5. Because he said weapons are coming, so... I'm really looking forward to the rail rifle, gotta say. Although, like, I hope ADS gets fixed before they add it, because I actually want to be able to aim the bloody thing. But... yeah, I mean, thoughts on new weapons coming in? Are we going to see the
Great.
death of AR?
Just like to see more variety. That's all.
Yeah.
Like to see them actually develop more roles for weapons, less Swiss Army knife weapons, really. Give people more options for their slight preference here and there, and spread out what's used.
Yeah.
Because it becomes more out of player choice and preference than effectiveness.
We've gone past the 1 hour mark. This is... well, I haven't done a show in a while, and there's actually been quite a lot of stuff coming up. One more thing. Vehicle changes are coming in 1.5, and they actually did announce their plans for those. So, what I've heard so far is shields are going to be... they won't recharge if they're getting shot. So you have to be out of combat to actually recharge shields. And armor is supposed to always be repairing at all times.
At a slow rate.
Yeah, so the idea is you sit in combat.
So shield is actually supposed to become more hit and run,
Yeah,
and armor should be straight up brawling.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, you're the tanker here. Like, what are your thoughts?
Best decision I ever made, isn't it? Almost like I said about weapons, I'd just like to see some variety of options. It's pretty limited in what you're going to be effective in. Barring a couple module choices. For the most part, I feel bad for the shield guys still. I believe they've said there's going to be another with the vehicle work. I believe they did say there's going to be another AV pass with that. I mean,
Yeah, I
I've
imagine
been,
they're going to be. This will be AV weapons getting changed as
yeah.
well in 1.5.
I mean, I haven't done swarms since I respect Forest, but you know, one of my guys swore up and down that swarms weren't getting buffed; they were just getting a fix that they needed. But
Yeah, I mean I use
so I mean,
swarms, so like
yeah, and I mean,
that's
I know I initially kind of bitched about that because I think I misread it. But it's also part of what they've done far too often is when they make a pass on something is they make a pass on one half of the equation. And so I find too often for us, it's not so much meta as it's out and out imbalance. Um, they change something and it's check. That would be the counter tactics is not touched so that things become out of whack. I I hope for 1.5 that they completely look at vehicles and AV at the same time together, not separately. It causes too much angst. About way back when we had ridiculously OP tanks, and then swung the other way to AV, and swung a bit back to tanks, and then a bit more to AV. It just they save themselves development time by just tackling it almost like almost like they've gotten into theming Eve updates. It looks like they're kind of doing that with 1.4 being core and infantry, and I'm just hopeful, fingers crossed for 1.5 that it's going to be an overall vehicle AV complete pass. Um, I mean, if honestly, if they offer a respec, it's going to be hard for me not to get out of vehicles because I kind of just hate being stuck in it and not being able to do anything else. Um, but for vehicles as well, I'd like to see more variety. I mean, they've all said it for a long time, but standard vehicles against proto AV is just it gets annoying.
well. The other thing as well is you only need to have one heavy turret on a tank now for the actual fit to be
I'm
viable.
I'm looking forward to playing with that. I will admit, of not having to have small turrets in.
I mean,
When PG is at such a bloody premium to have to stick those small turrets in, and you have guys hop in and they go, oh, missile turrets, really? Yeah, well, suck it up because that's what I got to put on to make the bloody fit, and even then I can't quite make the fit I want, so shut up about the small turrets. Soon enough you won't have one to hop into. um, I mean, options in turrets too. There's been talk about changing the vehicle reps to turrets. That would give a different option for a tank fit. Maybe spider tanking in the middle of action would actually become somewhat viable. I'm just all for, whether it's infantry, whether it's vehicles, is variety to the gameplay, and let the meta settle naturally over just what's been thrown completely out of balance with devs taking a hatchet at something.
yeah, I would look forward to spider tanking becoming a thing. I feel like the whole point of the Logi LEV, and I actually see people try and do it, is like having them run behind tanks and keep them wrapped.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
oh, the SO dropped.
Oh, apparently he needs food, so going to go eat. But we're gonna wrap this up, I think. Actually, one last thing, which is me like harping on the maternity.com, is the maternity.com's lead editor now works for Sony Online Entertainment, which is the rival to Dust. With their Planet Side 2.
Mm,
Oh, that's a conflict of interest, and I'm not gonna. He's like a nice guy, and I've talked to him a bunch, but their Dust coverage lately has been pretty bad. Things like they talked about the problems with the 1.4 patch and then didn't
and then not the
update it.
update the next
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
It wasn't even the next day. They put the article up like 6 hours before it all
Yeah.
got fixed.
Yeah.
No update. And the Soundwave leaving and them not putting in the link to the Facebook post that they were quoting. They just said he said it on his Facebook. Like, you're
Yeah.
supposed to. I went and
Take
looked
their
at.
word for it.
I looked at the Polygon article for it, and they had 2 links to the same Facebook. The Polygon article. Even Eve News 24 had a screenshot of the Facebook post.
Oh, Eve News 24 greater than the Matani.
For
It's
that
gonna get you in
instance,
trouble right there. Yeah, you know what? I honestly haven't found myself reading it as much as I was for quite a while. Um, I don't know, laziness.
I haven't really done much Dust stuff recently.
No, nothing worth going and looking at all. It's a regurgitation of something that we, you know,
Yeah.
read the day or two before. There's often not even enough of a valid opinion put in on it. You know, I mean, if it's an editorial piece, if you're just going to regurgitate the highlights out of the same dev blog I read the day before, why would I give you hits to go and read it there?
True.
I mean,
there's
it's
a bunch of
a
Eve players who read it, but
yeah, I mean, Dust is a game that's more constantly in development than Eve, just because things rapidly change for us so much more than scheduled, almost seasonal kind of updates. And I think they missed the boat on their Dust coverage. That they could have had somebody kind of making a diary type log of the development of this game that their beloved CCP is bringing into the New Eden world, and they never done anything like that. It's yeah.
yeah, like
I'm not going to bash on Leoso because he's written a bunch for them, but I think
before
there
we
could have
came
been
on,
a
he
hell of a
said,
lot more for it.
well, actually, at the beginning of the show, he said, I've been on a Dust hiatus. So, like, he's obviously just been away.
Yeah.
Can't really blame the guy for taking a break. And they had other Dust writers, and the thing that got to me was that I had to go and chase them up about, hey, there's like a war, well, there was a war going on, and zero coverage.
I mean, as far as we're all sitting 3 Eon here, so you have real divergent opinions. But I mean, as far as the wars we've done, the ones to really cover would have been Kronos War, and just because of the interest behind this one and the parties involved, not because it was a massively riveting war or anything like that, would have been the community one, the FEC thing, just because it was interesting. I mean, God, Cubs, what the hell was the day one count? 100 matches. It would have been a story.
We'll talk about that in the next part.
Definitely epic when you look at it from activity in game, for sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this half.
All right.
Any final thoughts on the news?
Nah.
1.4 goods?
Yeah, I mean,
Bugs
I don't
aside.
get to see a lot of it, bugs aside, but I mean, we get bugs every time. And I mean, it's annoying as hell, sure, but if they get their ass on it, Nullarbor staying up an entire night trying to improve matchmaking by the next day, I mean, I commend them for what they try and fix. I know we've questioned their QA, and they,
I think
people
overall,
defend their QA. I just think they need more QA.
It's just like every other change that they make. They make 3 positive steps and then take 2 backwards. And I think this is pretty much the same. The difference this time is the positives are actual, notable positives.
Yeah.
And the steps back are more like bugs
Leaps?
than actual, like, really bad design choices.
Yeah.
Okay, right, we're gonna wrap this half up. We'll have... I'm gonna see if... I might, like, wait and try and get Kane on for this next bit.
Yeah, I can probably move downstairs anyways at the hour that it's at, so.
Okay.
Go grab.
Well, thanks for
his
watching so
in-law.
far. This has been an hour and a quarter of news. This is what
didn't have
happens
that
when
much
you don't do
news.
this every week. Anyway, we'll be back in a sec. Cheers.
Don't have other things.